I dare you to adjust a vent in a Porsche Taycan while driving. It'll never happen.
You can't do this and grab it.
It's all in the infotainment. You got to be like a computer hacker while driving.
Jakub and Yuri, the Straight Pipes, joining us here in the Freak Nation. They went from 0 to almost 1.4 million YouTube followers here in the Freak Nation. And there's so many questions that you can get into asking you guys how you started, how did you get this reach, where did your passion come from. But before we started this thing, you told us what car you're in. I was an early Jaguar fan, and then frankly, the Jaguars started to shit the bed. Are the Jaguars back on the rebound to where they're worth maybe 3/4 of the money that you're paying for them? Because you guys are in a Jaguar right now.
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for having us on the show. I'm going to say yes, just because you can't get a supercharged 5-liter V8 out of many manufacturers, especially in an SUV with 550 horsepower. So I'm definitely going to go with yes.
And then all the European automakers are putting in the particulate filters and muting their exhausts, where this thing still sounds like a chainsaw going off every time you upshift, which you can't really get from anywhere else.
Yeah, so we're giving this probably the best sounding exhaust of the year that we're going to drive.
Well, looking at you guys, Jakub and Yuri, when I was 16, 17 years old, you weren't even a thought in your mom and dad's brain, cerebellum at the time. So I was driving Jaguars. Again, they were so beefy, 3,000, 4,000 pound cars. At least they felt like it. And V12s and just crazy bonker stuff like that. Are you finding that those older brands, given the reviews that you guys have, are it's forcing themselves to redirect some of their programming and some of their development towards guys, men and women your age?
I think with like the lower horsepower manual stuff, that's kind of the latest resurgence of like cars that they're targeting towards younger people.
Yeah, because the manuals are dying off, and we recently drove the Toyota 86, which is probably going to be one of the last manual rear-wheel drive cars.
Yeah, and then there's the upcoming Nissan Z, which is also offered in manual, and then everyone was upset that the Toyota Supra was not offered with the manual. So I think manual is like the last thing that kind of manufacturers are targeting towards people or enthusiasts.
But the manual is kind of they have the paddle shifts now. I just bought a paddle shift car, and I don't need a manual, I mean, that's sort of a passe thing, like buggy whips and $1 coffee.
Well, it's still more fun, and you've been having fun with manual your whole life, and we still got like a lot more years to go trying to drive manual cars. So we got to do everything we can to keep people to keep buying them.
Yeah, but you got wait a minute. You got clutches. You got getting the car up the hill with a clutch. What? It's just simple with the paddle shift.
But it's more fun.
It's the fun part that you're kind of missing on. You're right. It is better and more efficient, but not the best and most efficient things are necessarily the most fun.
Car manufacturers are really missing the boat on another element of YouTube videos. When I learned how to drive a stick, holy cow, was it comical. So if only there were cell phone cameras back then. I mean, that's a whole nother area that, well, too bad. I guess we're going to be missing out on that fun.
Yeah, we've been trying to get some of our other YouTube friends to learn to drive manual transmission, but there's really not that much interest with people these days.
Really?
Learn to drive manual.
Yeah, and we do have a YouTube video on how to drive manual that we filmed, I think, last year.
It's got almost like 1.5 million views.
Yeah.
but we don't teach you how to get out of second gear. It's just start to second gear and stop.
Yeah, that's the hardest part.
That's an interesting question. I've got nephews who are 19, 20, 21 years old, and they don't have a driver's license. They don't even care to get a driver's license. Are people interested in learning how to drive? Are they responding to your podcast for things other than what's the best car I could buy?
That's kind of tough to say. Like, everything we're hearing is kind of similar to what you said, but I mean, everyone we talk to are still car enthusiasts, so they're about cars, but everything we're hearing is kind of like young people don't want to learn how to drive.
I've got some cousins and they're like 18 years old, don't drive.
Yeah.
Don't have a license, not really working on it.
So I don't know. We have newborns, but we're going to encourage our automotive enthusiasm on our.
We're going to force our babies to drive manual transmission The moment they turn
We're
16.
gonna do our part.
Even before that, just not on public roads.
Jakub and Yuri, the Straight Pipes, joining us here in the Freak Nation. And let's get to the opening question. When did this start? Who had this idea? Jakub or Yuri? Were you guys buddies?
Yeah, so we were in the high school gang, aka grade 9.
Grade 9.
No, that's how we met. We actually met in the year 2000, which was grade 9 for us. Just to put our age out there, we're born in '86. I started the channel in 2012, just filming exhaust videos, hence the name TheStraightPipes. There was no car reviews or anything like that. I never wanted to put my face on camera. I just wanted to film the sound of cars. That's it. And so Yuri was working in the film industry at the time.
Yeah, I was filming some car shows, filming car commercials, filming some movies and stuff. And then I figured, hey, if I'm filming other guys doing car reviews, why can't I film Jakub and I do car reviews? And that way we'll get to drive new cars, because there was really no other way to drive anything besides doing reviews.
Yeah, and manufacturers wouldn't give me cars just for exhaust videos. They said, we need your driving impressions. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll turn the stupid camera on my face and talk about the cars. And
it worked
out, yeah.
Jakub, we'll start with you. What do you drive?
I have a 2010 Ford Raptor in molten orange. I have a 1987 Ford Mustang GT, which I also painted molten orange. And I also have a 2014 Ford Fiesta ST, which I also got in molten orange.
Where did the orange come from?
I don't know. It just kind of became a joke. I really wanted the 2010 Raptor in orange because that was the launch color. That's when you see like jumping in the air and everything with the Raptor splash. So I just wanted that color with the orange interior. And then I was like, well, I got one. I might as well just paint my other car the same color, and then I might as well just buy another car that's the same color. So it's kind of a running joke. Like, I don't even like orange.
All right, Yuri, let's hear your tale of woe.
I've got a 1999 yellow Plymouth Prowler as my daily, and then I've got
your daily? Wait, that's your daily?
That's my daily. Well, I mean, I drive it in the winter too. I've got some nice Continental winter tires for it, and it handles
in the
great.
winter.
I do, top down, whatever.
Yeah, there's photos and videos of it.
Plastic and aluminum. How bad could it be? Hose it down, whatever. And then I have a 2013 Fiat 500 Abarth with a Phase 3 tune and turbo and all the goodies. So that's my more fun car.
Is there any motorsports in either one of your lives? Do you follow IndyCar, NASCAR, rallying, anything?
Formula One we've been following.
Currently, we follow Formula One like quite hard. I used to follow rally quite a bit, but it was just so difficult to follow the WRC that I just kind of gave up on it.
But that Netflix show really made it easy to follow Formula One. So we've got like a whole group chat of the guys who played Gran Turismo the whole time.
Where do you stand on Lewis versus Verstappen?
Oh boy, you want to take this first?
I mean, then whatever. Let him. It'll work itself out.
Yeah.
It's
fun to
Oh,
see the
really?
That's a cop out.
What was that?
I mean, like when you look at the footage of that turn, could have gone either way. I mean, they're both aggressive.
racing incident.
I want Max to win this season, but if he doesn't win and Lewis wins, like whatever.
Oh, all right.
I want Lance Stroll to win some more races.
Yeah, but when you do produce race car drivers, you produce some badass race car drivers, whether we're going back to Greg Moore or the Villeneuve family or James Hinchcliffe, who, by the way, if you want somebody else, a fellow Canadian up on one of your Straight Pipe shows, he is hysterical. He's an IndyCar driver who is just, oh my gosh, you guys would fit in quite nicely together. Let's put it that way.
We actually do know him, and we've done one video with him in the past.
Oh, yeah?
We do talk to him like on occasion on Instagram. He's a great guy.
Did you do an exhaust vid with him? What was your video with him?
We did an interview. We actually interviewed him
at the Honda Indy a couple of years ago.
Yep.
He drove us around the track early in the day with the new Civic Type R at the time.
Hey, let's get down to brass tacks here, guys. You're both of you are relatively new fathers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got 5-month-old, 2-month-old-ish.
Two and a half.
2.5.
Is this little extravaganza Straight Pipes? Can you make a damn good living at it at currently what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, so far so good. I basically bet my mortgage on it by quitting my office job a couple of years ago. So
Nice.
It turned out that I can still pay my mortgage, so I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, I paid for my wedding early on in our YouTube career, and then I got a house recently. So for YouTube, it's been working out pretty decent for us. We're very happy with it, and we hired our first employee recently to help us edit videos. So we're like kind of a real company now.
Yeah, and it's all thanks to like sponsors like Continental as well. So we have our YouTube revenue, we have our sponsorship revenue, and that's basically how we survive.
What's the evolution of you guys? Because as you know, it's if you sit back and just watch the money roll in and don't make any changes, that you'll be sitting back there with some of those freaking Saturns in the back lot. What's the platform for you guys to move into next? Is there?
I guess our latest partnership was with TrueCar, so in the States, because a lot of our viewers actually come from the States. So I think it's a way for us to, I guess, get another source of revenue that can work in the background. So people still watch our videos after we post them, months, years later. So if someone's shopping for a 2018 car that we reviewed in 2018, then hopefully there's a TrueCar link, and then we would get hopefully like a commission out of that when someone actually buys that car. So wow. I guess sort of trying to get away from just the YouTube revenue platform.
But I think we want to stay on YouTube because when you think about looking up a video, if you needed to look up a video on how to learn to drive stick shift, where would you go? Television, cable? No, you go to YouTube.
Is YouTube more
we would go to you guys
than a TV show? If you had to put together these segments and make a half-hour show on Motor Trend or something?
If somebody suggested it and offered it up, I would be very down for that. That'd be fun to do like a TV special kind of thing or a streaming service.
I think a streaming service would realistically be the only place that we could land, like Amazon or Netflix, because we've actually been on TV for a season in Canada on Motoring TV. So we've kind of done the TV thing, but it was exactly our YouTube on TV.
I've worked with her and Statman.
There you go.
God,
I know, right?
We've been together for 21 years, and whether it's the cadence or the relationship, you just know when the other, for the most part, is going to step in and comment. Watching you guys sit in this freaking Jaguar, it's as if you guys are at the same point of your career where you know when Yuri's going to say something, and you know when it's time for Jakub to step in, which is many people know that's not easy to come to grips with.
Well, that's because we're scripted. Oh, just kidding.
Nah, we have no script. We always just make it up. But the thing is, if one of us had to do a review without the other, I think that's where we'd get a little bit nervous.
We did sort of do that when we both had our newborns. We still reviewed a car. The other person was at home holding their newborn while we had it virtually in the car on
FaceTime, honestly. Yeah, and it still worked pretty well.
So there was actually one physical person in the car, so that's as close as we got to an individual video.
Oh wow!
The thing with YouTube is you can't stop. That's the craziest part of it.
Boom.
Because if we stop making content even for like a week, the algorithm just punishes you. It's crazy.
So we really have no chance to ever take a break. And if we do want to take a break, we have to work extra hard to pad up our videos so that when we come back, it looks like we never left.
That's where I was going to go then is so you plan ahead if you want to take some time off at the holidays or if you want to take some time off to have a baby, which clearly you guys didn't do. But yeah, you pad yourself. You give yourself 4 or 5 videos so that you constantly have that content of what? You guys are putting out 2 to 3 times a week?
Yeah, it's twice a week. So yeah, well in advance.
2 a week for 3 years. I think we're actually almost 500 reviews deep right now, which is pretty cool. But I still feel like I need to get more cars under my belt. Like, we haven't even reviewed a Bugatti yet.
Do you have a specialty? Like, one of you specializes in SUVs and the other specializes in liftbacks, or do you have a specialty?
I wouldn't say we have a specialty, but I think we have kind of the things that we like about cars. So I like, engine performance, exhaust sound, that kind of stuff. And then
I'm more into the infotainment, I guess, how the car is controlled, and then more like the looks of the car and the body lines, because I mean, how many times do you get into a car and it's super confusing to use?
Oh, all the time.
I think there's so many bad features that you don't even use features in certain cars because you don't want to figure it out.
Exactly. Like I don't use parking cameras because I just turn around. I don't care.
And I'm always trying to figure out which parking camera has the best version of parking cameras so I can get it to work for me the best.
Yeah. So then he tells me to try stuff. I'm like, oh, this is cool. So it's a great relationship.
Wow.
Has there been a review that you guys have put out there where the manufacturer or even the dealer that you borrowed it from said, guys, can we retract that review because it was so bad?
No, nobody's ever asked us to retract a review, but they have expressed disappointment in what we produced.
Yes.
But we're journalists. We don't take money from manufacturers, so we kind of have to be honest. And they understand that. They'll just let us know and be like, kind of didn't like that.
Yeah.
then-
Sometimes it's really didn't like that.
Yeah. It happens.
But then would that ever hold you back from maybe going back to that same source to get another vehicle? Would they say, hey, you slimed us last time, so I'm not going to give you a car this time?
Yeah, they kind of do that.
Yeah, no, that's a valid point. But, we're not, if we were nervous about that, then we wouldn't have a career. Like we would just have to find another way to get that car if we really wanted it. We have to say what we feel. Otherwise it shows through in the videos.
Perfect.
What do you recommend? Let's say a sports car between $50,000, $60,000. Any kind of power plant, no restrictions there, but $50,000, $60,000, and I want to keep it for about 8-9 years.
Oh, 8-9 years.
I'm gonna say Mustang GT or Camaro SS.
Is it four door, right?
Oh, I thought you said 4-seat.
I said
Four-seat.
4-seater.
Oh,
See?
do the back seats have to be real seats or no?
Just a place to put my 6-pack or a case of beer or
Oh,
a case.
okay.
Mustang GT or a Camaro like SS or whatever.
Yeah.
If you can get an SS with the 1LE package for that price, because we're not too familiar with the US pricing, because it's always a little bit cheaper than what we think.
But the 400Z is probably going, or that's going to be 2-seater.
That's gonna, yeah,
It's 2-seater. There's probably a place for the beer in that one.
yeah.
Does the Mach 1 come under that for US dollars?
I don't think so.
If you can afford the Mach 1 Mustang, just buy that. That's one of the coolest cars ever. It might be like 70.
And if you are looking for a 4-door specifically, I think I would recommend the Kia Stinger GT.
That one's really nice.
Yeah.
Stat man, you ready to fork out about 50, 60 grand for a Camaro SS?
Well, no, but I did fork out almost 40 for a Mazda. What's it? CX-30 turbo, all
Yeah.
slow down paddles, everything.
Yeah. Those are quick.
Yeah, it's a nice car. I've driven the taste out of it. I don't know if the statute of limitations has run out on all the things I've done with it. But, I love the car. Where do you fit in something like that? Do you tell me, did I make a mistake?
Well, we drove that one down to Palm Springs from LA. Somewhere.
San Diego.
From San Diego.
Yes.
And it was just down that road. And we were shocked at how well that SUV handled.
Yeah, and that was the non-turbo, and then we drove the turbo recently. I think it was actually, it was earlier this year. Yeah. No, we really like that SUV.
Cool. I got a good car.
Yeah.
What did you get? Did you get the Soul Red Metallic?
No, I got the black. Black is beautiful. Haven't you heard up in Canada?
No, so hold on though. You guys just brought something up about driving that Mazda from San Diego to Palm Springs. Where are your sources all around North America? I mean, you're not just staying in Canada. You're not just on the West Coast. Where do you go to get all these sources for videos?
Well, the manufacturers give us the cars when they come out. They obviously want us in the cars as soon as possible so we can put out the reviews. And when there isn't travel restrictions, they bring us down to trips to the States and everywhere. They pretty much have trips in places that work best with whatever car is being launched. So we go down there, kind of follow their drive route, and they usually have something really nice planned. And sometimes we even get to go to racetracks in the States. We went to a racetrack in Portugal once for BMWs.
Yeah. So it's direct through the manufacturers, not through dealers.
Do you guys have a fan base that's called what, the Little Pipers or the Straight
Pipers?
Yeah, Straight
the
Pipers.
Straight Pipers?
Well, there's no name. It's just fans. But,
Yeah, subscribers.
Yeah, a lot of our subscribers watch it. There's also a lot of people who aren't subscribers who just kind of tune in, catch a video or two for buying advice, and then probably never watch us again.
Yeah.
But we want them to come back.
Because some people are just shopping for that particular car. Like if someone is buying a Mazda CX-30, they just want to see what people think of the CX-30. They don't care what those people think of other cars.
Do you have any analytics, and I don't want to go too deep in this, but do you have any analytics on really how you've helped other manufacturers either sell cars or products or aftermarket parts in general, pipes, whether it's MagnaFlow or some of the other competing companies, guys?
Yeah, for sure. So all the sponsors that we work with are usually very happy with everything we've done. The ROI on the sponsorship integrations have been really good.
We get a lot of our fans sending us photos when they put Continental tires on their car, especially even if someone buys a car, they'll usually send us a photo. It'll be like, hey, I just bought this. I think someone recently sent me a Genesis photo that they bought because of our reviews.
Yeah, and then now with our TrueCar partnership, I can't speak to numbers because of NDAs, but we have sold vehicles through TrueCar, so we have evidence of
that.
We
have a lot of our fans sending us photos of their car. They're really excited, and then we'll get a lot of people messaging us like, should I get this Porsche or should I get this?
Or should I sell my Aston Martin for a Lamborghini? I'm like, well, that's a great problem to have.
And then you know what? A month later, they'll be like, hey, look what I got, and you're like, oh, you actually did it.
Yeah, Yuri, it was real.
See, that's cool. I mean, that's a pretty big time commitment as well. You guys responding to all these individual messages outside of your video and editing processes going on. That's incredible. I mean, that keeps you in tune with your audience, and they love that personal connection.
On Instagram, we pretty much reply to whoever messages us, especially for car buying advice, because sometimes they know what they want to get, and they just need that little bit of extra approval from us, and be like, oh, I really want to spend all this money, and like, just do it.
Yeah, and it's as much as we can, because we're at the end of the day, it's just us. So if we haven't responded to your message and you're listening to this, I'm very sorry.
We get overwhelmed a bit.
Guys, thanks for doing this, man. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Good to know you guys. You're part of the family with Continental Tires. Well, you guys going to head out to SEMA this year? Do you know?
I think we're going to wait till next year just because of the newborns, and then we're going to travel because we do want to be at home as much as possible to help out.
Yeah, but we're very, very excited to go back next year.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Looks like the Green 87 is in for an unscheduled pit stop.
It looks like an oil leak, Billy.
For more on the situation,
let's throw it to Mom in the pits.
Well, the Green 87 is in trouble, but it has a long history of finishing strong. So what's your game plan?
What the 87 driver knows is that StopLink has special additives that renews worn seals, reduces engine noise, and oil consumption to protect your engine.
Lucas Oil. It works.